If Excel freezes and shows not responding, the worst move is clicking randomly and hoping it comes back. You can turn a panic moment into a quick, repeatable checklist. First, your goal is simple. Stop the freeze, protect the file, and prevent it from happening again. In the next few minutes, you'll learn the fastest safe exits, the most common hidden causes, and the fixes that actually stick. We'll start with what to do in the first 30 seconds. Then we'll work through add-ins, formulas, file size, and even printer and network weirdness that can lock Excel up. You don't need to be an IT pro. You just need a calm sequence. And yes, we'll cover what to do if you didn't save. By the end, you'll have a decision tree, quick recovery, deeper repair, and long-term prevention. Let's begin with the immediate triage steps that save the most work. Next step. In the first 30 seconds, you're testing whether Excel is busy or truly stuck. Give it a short pause, because Excel can look frozen during heavy recalculation or file saving. If it's still unresponsive, open Task Manager and check if Excel is using CPU. High CPU usually means it's working, so waiting may save your session. If CPU is near 0 and memory is climbing, it may be locked or leaking memory. Next, try a safe close approach. Press Escape once or twice to cancel a long operation. If that doesn't respond, try Alt plus F4 to close the window cleanly. If Excel offers to save, choose Save only if you trust the file isn't corrupted mid-write. If Excel won't close, end the task, but do it deliberately. Before you kill it, note the workbook name and where it was saved. That helps you find recovery files quickly. The key is making one controlled decision, not a dozen frantic clicks. Next step. After a forced close, your next job is recovery. Reopen Excel and look for the Document Recovery panel. If it appears, pick the newest version that says Recovered. Save it immediately with a new name, so you don't overwrite the last good copy. If you don't see Recovery, check Auto Recover settings. In Excel options, Auto Recover controls how often temporary versions are written. A shorter interval reduces loss, but it can add overhead on very large files. Also check the default Auto Recover file location. That folder often contains versions even when Excel doesn't show the panel. If the file was stored on OneDrive or a network drive, look for version history. Cloud versioning can rescue you even if Excel crashed mid-save. One more trick, search your computer for files ending in .asd or .tmp around the time of the freeze. You won't always get a perfect restore, but you can often recover most of the work. Next step. Now let's isolate whether the problem is Excel itself or your specific workbook. The fastest test is Safe Mode. Safe Mode starts Excel without most add-ins and without custom toolbar extensions. If Excel runs fine in Safe Mode, the freeze is usually caused by an add-in, a startup file, or a custom setting. If it still freezes, the issue is more likely the workbook, the printer driver, or the Office installation. Next, try opening Excel with a blank workbook first. Then open your problem file from inside Excel. That avoids certain startup behaviors that can trigger hangs. Also try opening the file while holding Shift. That can prevent some automatic macros from running. The point is to change one variable at a time. You're not guessing, you're narrowing. Once you know Excel is fine but this file isn't, you can focus on file-specific fixes like formulas, links, and corruption checks. Next step. Add-ins are a top cause of freezing because they hook into Excel events like opening a workbook or recalculating a sheet. Start by disabling COM add-ins, then Excel add-ins. Do it in batches so you can identify the culprit. Re-enable them one by one until the freeze returns. Common offenders include PDF tools, older analytics add-ins, and third-party connectors. Also check Excel startup folders. Anything placed in the Excel Start location can load automatically, including hidden workbooks. If a hidden workbook contains macros or volatile formulas, Excel can hang before you even touch your file. Another subtle cause is outdated add-ins that aren't compatible with your current Office build. If you need an add-in for work, look for an updated version rather than living with random freezes. Once you've found the culprit, you've usually fixed the problem permanently. This is one of the highest payoff steps in the whole checklist. Next step. If the freeze happens only on a specific workbook, formulas are often the reason. The biggest trigger is volatile functions. things like now, today, rand, and offset, because they recalculate more often than you expect. Another issue is full column references, like AA, inside heavy formulas. That forces Excel to scan huge ranges. A third culprit is array formulas or dynamic arrays, spilling across large areas. The quick diagnostic is switching calculation to manual, then opening the file. If it opens smoothly, recalculation load is your problem. From there, you can optimize. Replace volatile functions where possible. Limit ranges to the used area, like A1 to A5000 instead of AA. Break giant formulas into helper columns. And watch conditional formatting rules, because they can behave like formulas applied to thousands of cells. You're not dumbing down the workbook. You're making it predictable and fast, so it doesn't lock up when you need it most. Next step. External links and data connections can freeze Excel in a way that looks random. A workbook might be waiting on a network path, a moved file, or a slow database response. If the freeze happens during open, look for messages like updating links, refreshing data, or connecting. One fix is to open the workbook with links disabled. Then you can review and remove broken links. Also check Power Query connections and refresh settings. Automatic refresh on open is convenient, but it can lock Excel if the source is unavailable. A practical approach is to set connections to refresh manually, then refresh only when you're ready. If you rely on network shares, test by copying the workbook locally and opening it from your desktop. If it opens instantly, the network path is part of the problem. The goal is control. Excel should not be forced to wait on something outside the file without your permission. Next step. Large files freeze for boring reasons: too many objects, too much formatting, and bloated used ranges. A workbook can look simple, but still contain thousands of blank formatted rows that Excel treats as in use. That increases save time, calculation time, and even scrolling overhead. Another hidden weight is embedded objects, images, shapes, charts, and old pivot caches. Start by saving a copy, then cleaning. Clear excessive formatting beyond the real data area. Remove unused styles, because corrupted or duplicated styles can slow workbooks dramatically. If you have many pivots, consider reducing pivot cache duplication or rebuilding pivots if they're corrupted. Also watch for entire columns set to high-precision number formats when you only need a small table. The simplest test is save as to a new file name. If the new file behaves better, the old file may have accumulated bloat. File hygiene is not glamorous, but it prevents freezes that feel mysterious. Next step. Sometimes Excel freezes because it's printing, and it surprises people. Excel queries the default printer driver to calculate page layout, even if you're not printing. If the default printer is offline or the driver is buggy, Excel can hang when opening or switching views. The quick test is changing your default printer to a stable option, like a built-in PDF printer. Then restart Excel and try again. Another related issue is outdated graphics drivers. Excel uses hardware acceleration for rendering, and certain driver versions can cause hangs, flicker, or slow redraw. Disabling hardware graphics acceleration is a useful test. If that fixes it, update your graphics driver later for a long-term solution. Also consider multiple monitors and remote desktop sessions, which can stress rendering. These aren't the most common causes, but when they are the cause, the fix is fast. It's worth checking before you rebuild a workbook from scratch. Next step. If Excel freezes when you type, copy, or save, your storage path can be the culprit. Saving to a network share, a synced folder, or an external drive adds latency and sometimes file locking. Excel may appear frozen while it waits for the file system to respond. The fastest diagnostic is saving the same workbook locally, like to your Documents folder, and working there for a while. If the freezes stop, you found a path issue. Then you can address it. Shorten file paths, avoid special characters, and ensure you have stable permissions. If you use Cloud Sync, watch for conflicts and pending upload states. Another big factor is antivirus scanning. Real-time scanning can slow down Excel file writes, especially for large workbooks. You may need to ask IT about excluding specific trusted folders. The goal is a smooth save cycle, because if saving is slow, Excel feels broken, even when it isn't. Next step. If Excel itself is unstable across many files, repair the Office installation before you chase workbook ghosts. Start with a simple update check, because stability fixes are often delivered quietly. If updates don't help, run an Office repair. The quick repair is faster and fixes common issues. The online repair takes longer, but it replaces more components and can resolve deeper corruption. Also consider your Excel profile settings. A corrupted user profile or a damaged local cache can cause repeated hangs. Testing with a different Windows user account is a clean way to confirm that. If Excel works fine under another account, the issue is local to your profile. At that point, resetting certain Excel settings or rebuilding the profile may be the real fix. This step is about separating my workbook is heavy from my Excel install is unhealthy. Once you know which one it is, you stop wasting time on the wrong fixes. Next step. When a workbook is corrupted, Excel can freeze during open, save, or even simple edits. The safest approach is to work on a copy and use Excel's built-in open and repair option. If that doesn't work, try extracting the data. One method is to open the file and copy sheets into a new workbook, one at a time. If a specific sheet triggers the freeze, you've identified the damaged area. Another method is saving to a different format, like .xlsx or .xlsb, depending on what you started with. Format conversion can sometimes rebuild internal structures. Also check for problematic features like very old macros, legacy forms, or broken named ranges. If the file contains critical data, consider importing it into a fresh workbook, rather than trying to heal the original forever. Corruption is frustrating, but it's often localized. Your goal is to rescue the content and rebuild a stable container around it. Next step. Let's finish with prevention, because the fastest fix is the one you don't need. Set auto-recover to a reasonable interval, and keep autosave or version history enabled when possible. Use manual calculation for heavy models, and recalc only when you choose. Keep your workbook modular, separate raw data, calculations, and reporting. That reduces the blast radius when something goes wrong. Be selective with add-ins and remove the ones you don't actively use. If you share files, agree on one storage location and avoid emailing multiple versions back and forth. And once a month, do basic hygiene. Save a clean copy, trim bloat, and confirm links still point to real sources. Excel is powerful, but it's also sensitive to complexity. If you build with performance in mind, freezes become rare instead of routine. If you want, I can also turn this checklist into a one-page troubleshooting flow you can keep next to your desk. Next step. Here's the quick decision tree to remember. If Excel freezes, pause and check Task Manager to see if it's working. If you must close, recover using Document Recovery and save a new copy. Then isolate. Safe mode tells you if add-ins are involved. If it's file-specific, test manual calculation and look for volatile formulas, full column references, and heavy conditional formatting. If it freezes on open, suspect links, queries, or network paths. If it freezes around layout, test the default printer and hardware acceleration. If Excel is unstable everywhere, update and repair Office and test another user profile. And if the file itself is damaged, use open and repair or rebuild into a fresh workbook. That's the whole system. One calm checklist beats random troubleshooting every time. For a quick check-in, leave a comment with your most common freeze trigger. A. Formulas, or B. Add-ins. And if you want more practical Excel troubleshooting guides, subscribe. Subscribe to keep optimizing your workflow and get back more of your time.